Welcome. We don't have a song this week, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm on the road report live from the New York Comic Con accommodations at my in-laws' house
Yeah, in New Jersey.
in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
But this is the Fantasy Football podcast show.
Yes.
I'm co-host Luke Brown.
I'm the other guy, Josh Brown, Henderson.
Josh Brown.
Henderson.
Didn't that guy get fired from the Giants?
Good. I think he did. He deserved it.
He deserved it for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
But welcome to episode 5, week 5.
Yeah.
Of the Fantasy Football show. Can you believe we are 1/4 of the way? Whoa.
Lots of headroom.
I'm messing with the camera here too much. I'm sorry. Can you believe we are 1/4 of the way through the season and the Eagles are in first place?
I can believe it. I can't believe we're 1/4 of the way. It feels the beginning of the season always feels so fast. But I can believe the Eagles are in first place. I can. Because Cowboys are overrated all the time. The Giants are 0-4, which is so awesome. And the Washington team can suck my dick.
Damn. It's some cold hard truth right here on FFF podcast.net dark web. Oh, I'm sorry. Dark web is on my mind because I saw some companies now offering to check the dark web for you.
Right, which is like, wait, what? Like, all right. That's for like my grandparents who are like, the dark web? Maybe I need to check that. Like,
were you guys not checking every place possible before?
Yeah, right? Like, what were you checking? Where were you looking? Under like a rock?
Monday Night Football brought to you by Dark Web Net. We'll check the dark web for you one time and promise not to give your information to Equifax or whatever that other company was that also just got approved to be the Securities and Exchange Commission investigator thing. God, what a fucking shit show.
It's a nightmare. Everything's a nightmare. But not this show.
But everybody wants to give their fucking face to Apple.
They do. I already gave them my fingerprint.
Fingerprint, I have no problem with. The government already has that.
Yeah, they already have my fingerprint also.
You're not getting my face, bro.
That's my blocking my face move.
If you're wearing a hat, sunglasses, or a hoodie, we may ask you to remove it before doing business in this bank.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm never doing business in your bank again, America.
There was a bank in Doylestown that wouldn't let you wear sunglasses in it. And I was like, I'm not going to rob your fucking bank. I'm just here for fucking bank reasons. Like,
have you met the sun?
Yeah, it's fucking sunny out, man. like, fuck you and your fucking bank. Piece of shit.
Yeah.
I forget what bank it even was. I would put them on blast, but I don't even remember. That's a stupid bank.
That's the kind of hot content you get here on the Fantasy Football.
That's right. I mean, wear my sunglasses in your bank, you shits.
It's no E-Trade. It's no Nationwide. They're not on your side.
Santander
Bank. What's the one with the little origami rabbits?
Oh, yeah. What is that one? I don't know. I see that one every now and then, but I don't remember.
So how you been since last week?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. I took cold medicine, so I'm a little high right now.
I had a few drinks. I had a couple Jacks, but I had to drive home from New York City. So I'm otherwise okay.
Yeah.
But I feel good about myself, but I didn't want to have too many drinks because I can't get full before we get to the sponsorships.
You have to drink your...
I have to drink 32 ounces of liquid courage.
Or we don't get our no money.
We don't get our no money. That's how this show goes. Welcome to the Fantasy Football podcast. We promise we're actually going to talk about fantasy football today at some point.
We're warming up.
But first, I would like to direct the crowd's attention to the fact that we have not one, my friend, but two listener emails this week.
We're keeping it going. We're keeping it going.
We're keeping it real. We're keeping it live.
No increase, but we're keeping it going.
Our good friend from Wisconsin, Andrew Jadzak.
Yeah, Jadzy.
Wrote again.
Okay.
He says, hey, would you guys like some Wisconsin cheese mailed over? If you feel like there's any inequity, I'll take some regional food mailed back in return, such as pork roll or tasty cakes. But I'm glad to just mail out a little support for you guys, putting out the effort.
I would love that. You already bought me cheese one time, but I'm not going to turn down cheese. I'll send you some tasty cakes and shit.
I did not partake in the cheese, but I would love to partake in future cheese endeavors.
Yes.
And if all it costs is a couple butterscotch crimpets, peanut butter candy cakes.
Oh.
You send me over all the curds and sharpest cheddar you can find in Wisconsin, sir.
Sharp cheddar.
I wanna bite it, and I wanna look like the bitter beer face guy.
I want it to bite me back.
How dated am I? Does anybody remember that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Milwaukee's best?
You don't remember the bitter beer face guy?
Luke.
I'm gonna give you a minute.
Okay.
I'll keep everybody's attention here while you look this up on your computer. Bitter beer face commercial.
Oh yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah, I thought so.
That was a long time ago.
It was so long ago.
1995. Wow. It was like 22 years ago. Holy shit.
That's the kind of cheese face I like. That
I love cheese. Oh man. I'll eat any cheese. I don't give a fuck.
I don't like creamy buttery cheese. I don't like brie.
Get out. You don't like brie?
No, I like a good hard cheese, man. I want a cheese that
you're German. So you're like give me the hard.
A hard cheddar or a hard Gouda.
Yeah.
You know, slap that on some hard bread with a nice thick crust that like almost stabs your gums when you chew it.
This dude loves hard breads and hard cheeses. I will turn it.
So, Andrew, when you watch the show this week, you go ahead and ship that over, and I will respond to your email asking you, of course, which tasty cakes you would prefer.
We'll find some pork roll for them. Can we do that? It's going to be tough to find.
Tasty cakes you could ship because you don't need to like put them with ice. Pork roll is
it's going to be tough.
Yeah. We'll see what we could do.
There might be some kind of like we can figure out another.
You're close to Canada though. Can't you get some Taylor ham?
It's not pork roll.
Canadian bacon?
Not pork roll.
It's close.
Scrapple? You can do anything to Scrapple.
Oh, I'll ship you some Scrapple. I'll ship you me with the Scrapple so I can eat it when I get there.
You're fucking disgusting.
Dude, Scrapple is so good.
Oh god, it's so not good.
You're just not having it in the right places.
I'm not having it in any place. So
you haven't
right.
had it prepared properly. You got to butter it. You get it real crispy on the outside and real creamy on the inside.
They have it down in my parents' place. They sell it.
Yeah, and obviously they make it like shit if you don't like it.
I don't think anyone can make it not like shit. It tastes like shit. It's literally horsehair and shit.
Oh, it's not horsehair. It's literally everything else but horsehair.
I saw a thumb in there one time. A human thumb.
A human thumb. But a horse thumb.
A horse thumb. A human thumb. It's a true story.
All right. I know Scrapple's an acquired taste.
I never got into it. My dad loved it, but
I like it with some good French toast.
I don't like French toast either. Sorry.
Thanks for watching.
I just invalidated my Scrapple argument by saying I didn't like French toast. It makes me so full. I just get so full.
Oh, yeah. So only have like 2 slices. Some scrambled eggs, some Scrapple, some home fries.
What am I, a snake? 2 slices? I gotta eat for the rest of the month if I have 2 slices of fucking French toast.
Really? 2 slices of French toast? You're done?
So full. Oh my god, yeah, it makes me full.
Oh man,
pancakes, same way.
Okay, all right. Flapjacks, if you will.
I'll do like the little ones.
Oh yeah,
those are good.
Breakfast is so good.
I want some right now. We really screwed ourselves.
I know. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Josh and I play each other in fantasy football this week. Be sure to watch us bitch each other out on Twitter. And
tweet at each other.
We will see you next week. Good night. We're going to the diner.
I'll see you. I'll be up in New York in about 2 hours.
All right. But to get us back on track, we have a second listener email.
Yes.
From Kevin Storer.
Okay.
Who writes, Mike Gillisley.
Yeah.
This guy went off on my bench in week 1, then turded it up in my starting lineup ever since. Gotta drop the guy, right? Or keep him with some hope of improvement later in the season? The pod is great. I've been looking for a fantasy football cast for a while, and why not one that features half of the Continue cast? Keep doing what you're doing. You'll make it on to ESPN someday.
Thank you. This is a great question because I have this conundrum.
Do you?
I have him in our league. So this is a conflict right now. You could give him some bad advice to screw me over, but I trust you won't do that.
I won't, because I also have Mike Gillisley in another league.
Okay.
And I still believe in Mike Gillisley as the touchdown machine.
Yeah, they got to score somehow.
Right? And that's kind of been this guy's raison d'etre for the season, if you will. We know he's not going to be the yardage guy.
Yeah.
We know he's not going to be the receptions guy. He's going to be the guy that when they're from the 8-yard line and in, Gillisley's who's you're looking at. Now, we knew he wasn't going to get LeGarrette Blount's 18.
Right.
3 touchdowns in week 1 had everybody seeing stars, including me. I was like, he might do it. He might get 25 touchdowns this
30
year.
touchdowns, Marshall Faulk.
I think it's 100% reasonable that he's going to finish the year with 10 to 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, 10. That's good.
You know, is he an RB1? No. Is he an RB2? Depends on who else you have on a bye week. I think he's a great flex. I think he's a great wide receiver, running back, third option, depending on how your league roster has a setup.
Right.
Because there's going to be another week where he's going to get fed the ball and he's going to vulture 6 points. He's only going to get you like 40 yards. Right. Those 4 points aren't going to win you a week. What you're waiting and hoping for is the week when this guy gets you 12 points on touchdowns.
Yeah. Agreed. I felt that way too, which is why I didn't get rid of him yet. I still feel like it's that thing. Like if you get rid of him, he's going to go score 2-3 touchdowns, and you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm an idiot. So I keep him around. And
Gillisley is the kind of running back that you have on your team that you question, but the minute you drop him,
touchdowns.
Well, no, but someone else is snagging him and has him for the next 10 to 12 weeks. And they're getting paid.
Yep. Keep him. You heard it. Keep him.
Keep him. And just, if you have questions about who you should be starting, he's a spot start and a good flex third option. But I don't think that he is the guy that you should be putting in every week to say, this week, Gillisley's winning me the week.
Yeah.
There it is. Great emails this week. Thank you again for emailing. It's always a blast to be surprised because most people contact us through Twitter, and I love checking the email and seeing that
some emails.
You've got mail.
What a great movie!
It was a great movie, and
Sleepless in Seattle.
They didn't even know.
They didn't have any idea.
We're emailing each other. That's true.
How crazy is that?
It's improbable by modern day standards.
Well, not back in 1995 when the internet was like 3 people.
True.
We were going into AOL chat rooms. That was fun.
I never went into an AOL chat room.
I did.
I had AOL like chat groups with friends, but I never went to a room that was like, today we're talking about what we read on Ain't It Cool News.
Ain't It Cool News? What was that, like 2003?
Oh my god, it was like one of the first websites ever made, and it still looks that way.
It does.
Too bad that guy's a piece of shit.
He is. Harry, what's his name?
That's exactly all that matters. Harry, what's his name?
Harry, what's Knowles? That's it. Got it.
So with that great question about Mike Gillislee, why don't we take a look at the Wendy's waiver wire snags you want? Brought to you by Wendy's. Dave Thomas Original. Fresh beef in the contiguous United States and Alaska and Mexico.
No Hawaii.
Not Hawaii.
No Hawaii.
Never frozen except for Hawaii. Hawaii, the meat is frozen. Don't eat Wendy's in Hawaii.
No.
Except if you're getting chicken sandwiches. There's no law that says you can't have fresh chicken in Hawaii.
Right. Or nuggets.
Oh, the nugs.
They're the best.
Yeah. All right, so this week, week 4 was arguably the shittiest week in the history of the NFL. And I don't mean this, there's no hyperbole here.
That's an actual fact.
100% factual. No week has there been more injuries to premier players in the NFL than there was in week 4, 2017. And I don't even care about their fantasy impact. I just mean from the impact of me watching football.
Football, yeah.
Like, so many dudes got hurt.
Derek Carr broke his back. He Tony Romo'd, which sucks.
Yep.
That sucks. Every running back I've ever owned in fantasy rips their knee apart in week 4, 5, 6-ish.
Yeah, so Dalvin Cook, Chris Carson.
Yeah, Carson. Saw that. I saw that you had Carson, and he went down. I missed it in the game. I was watching the game, and then I was doing something, and I came back, and he was out. They were like singing his praises too. They were like, "It looks like Carson's the guy." Well, yeah, looks like Carson's the guy to sit at home and go to rehab now.
Yep, season ender. Dalvin Cook, season ender. Somehow Derek Carr broke his back, and he's only out for 2 weeks,
which is bullshit.
I mean, that's amazing if it happens.
That's bullshit.
But like, you broke your back, dude.
Yeah, you need that. That's kind of like the thing you need. You need to like be able to move and stuff because your spine. That's how it works, right?
I mean, I'm no scientist, but I am a guy that stayed at a Holiday Inn last night.
Did you say your in-laws?
Yeah, but Derek Carr got hurt. So many guys also went out with injuries in the game. Mariota busted his hamstring. Dude. Julio Jones busted his hip.
Yeah.
Mohamed Sanu got hurt.
Yeah.
Like, almost every team was basically like throwing bodies out there, just fucking finish the game.
If you had anyone on the Redskins and you watched that game, you were clenching that b-hole, man, because those guys, it was like body bag number 2 over there. It was like the second body bag game. They were getting hurt all over the place. Most of them were like D guys and on O linemen and stuff, but
it was not a great week.
Yeah.
But that opens up the door for you on the Wendy's waiver wire, brought to you by Wendy's. I don't know what the special at Wendy's is this week, so sorry. No
double bacon, double junior bacon cheese, or what is it? Not double. They don't call it a double.
Isn't it like the giant junior bacon cheeseburger?
Yes.
Something like that. So there it is. Wendy's giant bacon cheeseburger. To eat one.
Get one.
My heart's really in this sponsorship tonight. But Dalvin Cook goes down. So that leaves Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon on the waiver wires. I wish it was Kate McKinnon.
That would be crazy.
That would be hilarious and amazing. But Latavius Murray, for my money, is the guy you want simply because he's going to be the 1-2 down and the goal line guy. Jerick McKinnon has been there for years and has plenty of opportunities to have proven himself in the past and just hasn't.
Yeah, I picked up Latavius Murray on my other league I was looking at this week. I was like, how would Luke do this? And it helped me out because I got him. Nobody had him, and I was like, all right, I got lots of like shitty running backs, so let me just take a chance on this guy. Who knows, you know?
That is literally the Luke method. All the shitty running backs.
Shit, dude, that's everyone, right? Like that's everybody. Running backs. Oh my god, it's hard to love the running back position in fantasy football because they just get hurt so much.
Right, and so many teams use committees, and it's really just figuring out the volumetric player, right? Just like Gillislee,
right?
You know, James White is probably going to be on the field more. Gillislee's going to get the Latavius Murray will probably be on the field more than Jerick McKinnon,
right?
But that's not to say McKinnon's not going to have a chance to like bust one out,
right?
But Latavius Murray is probably the guy you want this week. The same can be said for wide receivers, Jaron Brown in Arizona and Will Fuller in Houston. If somehow Will Fuller wasn't already picked up, last week's performance, 2 touchdowns and a bunch of yards, is certainly going to have the interest of a lot of people in your league.
Yeah.
But he appears to be finally gelling with quarterback Deshaun Watson, and that's only going to
more touchdowns,
more targets, more yards down the line. Jaron Brown. Now John Brown is back. JJ Nelson is still in Arizona. Larry Fitzgerald is in Arizona.
Yeah.
I have Jaron Brown on our list this week, not for anything but PPR.
Okay.
If you're in a PPR league, I think Jaron Brown is a smart pickup. He's getting targeted a lot, and he's not going to be the huge deep threat, but he'll get you some volume.
Yeah, he's playing the Eagles too, and wide receivers for the Cardinals destroy the Eagles always.
Yeah, and I feel like even if we somehow key in on Larry Fitzgerald, that still leaves them a lot of
the other guys,
weapons. Yeah. And again, David Johnson is done for the year, so they really have no other options.
They're just throwing
it.
Yeah.
And of course, Deshaun Watson, the quarterback du jour. I mean, this guy, I don't know what Bill O'Brien was thinking starting Tom Savage. Maybe it was to.
I read a thing that he wanted to start Deshaun Watson, but was told that's the rumor is that Bill O'Brien was told to be patient and to start Tom Savage. Why you would think like that? I don't know.
I mean, to a degree, I understand it because you want to protect the young guys, right? You want to give them some time to acclimate to the speed of the NFL, to get familiar with the playbook, to build up a little bit of chemistry with guys in practice reps. But once the season starts, like your practice reps aren't real practice. You're going
they're like walkthroughs,
right? It's all walkthroughs, right? And the only way to really get experience is to throw them into the fire. I mean,
gotta do it, yeah.
And if you have a halfway decent offense to start with, which I would say the Texans have an above average offense.
Yeah, wide receiver wise.
Wide receivers, their running backs are strong. The offensive line is solid. You put a quarterback that's not Brian Hoyer or Brock Osweiler or Tom Savage in there, they're going to get stuff done.
Yeah, man.
And that's exactly what Deshaun Watson has been doing.
Yeah. What did he run for, like 2 last week?
He ran for 1, but threw for 4.
4, which is insane.
I mean, he threw a pick too, but I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns. You're going to throw 4 and 1 every week. I'm going to take 4 and 1.
Sure. Hell yeah.
Nobody's going to throw 4 and 1 for an entire season, but if he did,
that would be amazing.
That's 64 and 16. You're telling me you don't want a quarterback that throws 64 touchdowns?
That would be a record, I think.
It would not.
What's the record?
Isn't it like? Oh wait, I'm thinking of the record in my Madden league. The record for the season is like 62, right? Yeah, the record in my Madden season is like 70.
Yeah, you can break some records.
You can break some records.
I think in Tecmo Super Bowl for the Nintendo, I had 192 sacks with Reggie White one year.
Good Lord!
Because I knew how to. It was like muscle memory. I just knew how to do it. You
just knew what to do.
I knew what to do, like Reggie White did.
Just like Reggie White. So if any of those 4 guys are available in your league, make sure to hit up the Wendy's waiver wire snags you want and get your claims in. And obviously, you put your claim in on where you're weakest at. But Will Fuller is a great pickup. Jerome Brown again in PPR. Tavius Murray if you're looking for some running back help because he's going to be the guy now. Cook's done for the year, and Watson will be a great QB2 with potential to be a QB1 if you're starting quarterback. You waited and you got somebody like Carson Palmer or Matt Stafford. I think Watson has a chance to surpass them in overall quarterback points this year.
For sure, Carson Palmer. I had Flacco, and I got rid of Flacco and picked up Deshaun Watson this morning because I was like, well, if Flacco somehow pulls it together or whatever, but I got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Like I'm like 1-3 in that league, so.
Watson is all upside. You know what you're getting with Joe Flacco every day.
Yeah, he's literally like a backup quarterback. Like he's like if there were ever like a rank in real football, like fantasy backup quarterback, that would be Joe Flacco.
Now, obviously, those are the guys you're targeting. These guys, I'm going to say are still questionable. Like, don't bite on them super hard yet. And that's Andy Dalton, who has shown us in the past he can have these kind of games where he makes you think that he's going to be the Red Rocket. And then all of a sudden, the Red Rocket runs out of steam.
Runs out of juice.
Right? So I'm not buying the hype completely on Andy Dalton. He's only had one supremely great fantasy football season, and then Jay Gruden left to go coach Washington. So Andy Dalton, I'm not buying that. The same with Gio Bernard. I know he's had touchdowns in the past 2 weeks receiving. Look, that's going to happen, but I would be very surprised if he gets another touchdown this week and if he gets more than 5 for the rest of the year total.
He's a running back for
Cincinnati.
Bengals? Yeah. Well, that Bengals running back situation is like, is anybody running the ball there? Like, are they even running the ball? Like, are they giving it to Hill? Or because I have Mixon, or I had Mixon, I just dropped him in my other league. He wasn't doing anything,
right? It's a very strange running back situation, and there was particularly a lot of hype around Mixon because everybody was like, "Oh my God, Hill's on his way down. Bernard's like a special third down back. Mixon could be the guy," and they just can't seem to get it together.
No one's running. It's weird.
Maybe this is the year Marvin Lewis finally loses his job.
If it's not, then that guy is the Teflon Don. That guy cannot be fired unless he wants to be.
He's kept his job forever. Maybe Cincinnati should run him out of town the way we ran Andy Reid out of town.
It's about time for that.
Which was by waiting 15 years and being like, "Holy shit, dude, we need a new coach."
Yeah, we need to stop doing this.
But also, Devin Funchess had a career game last week, and I'm not being hyperbolic there. That literally was a career game. Receptions, yardage, touchdowns, all at once. That whole total package has never come together in the way it did before. I know they're really struggling offensively to find a replacement for Greg Olsen. I don't think Devin Funchess is that guy.
I've had him before. I had him last year, and he had a sparky game, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then nothing. And I don't think there's any reason to think Devin Funchess isn't gonna kind of fade back into the shadows again of the whatever the hell's going on in Carolina right now. Like, who the hell even knows what that offense is doing?
Yeah, and that's kind of been his MO. Like, Kelvin Benjamin has at least been mostly reliable, but Funchess, since he has come into the league, has just been virtually an enigma because he has all this potential and greatness,
and nothing happens.
And he's like, "Oh my God, this is the Devin Funchess we heard about on draft day,"
right? And
you don't hear about him again.
Yeah, he was big. I remember that draft. That was like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah,
and I remember that. And they were like, "Oh, people were really into that pick." I know that's what they all say about all the picks, but he was supposed to be real hot, and nothing yet. So who knows?
Hopefully we're right this time.
Hopefully we're right. Watch him go score like 3 touchdowns next week.
Well, I did say last week, don't bite on Carolina anybody. And then
Well,
Cam Newton blew up. Devin Funchess blew up. Everybody but Christian McCaffrey had a great game.
Yeah, that's how bad that Patriots defense is, though. Holy shit, it's bad.
Yeah, P.S. If you haven't dropped the Patriots defense yet, drop the Patriots defense.
Go back in time 3 weeks and don't get them. Don't pick them up.
It's true. It's true. But now that we talked about guys that did bad, let's talk about the guy that did the greatest.
Again.
I'm talking about our Monster Game of the Week, sponsored by Monster Ultra.
Oh, yeah.
0 calories, 0 sugar, ultra refreshment. Monster Ultra brings us the Monster Game of the Week. This week's star of the week is a second-time winner, our second 2-time defender, Mr. LA Rams himself, Todd Gurley. 23 carries, 121 yards, 7 receptions for 94 yards, and 1 touchdown.
That's absurd.
Is more than 200 all-purpose yards for the Rams.
How many points in our league is that? Who has him?
In our Yahoo League, I will have to look, but I know in a standard ESPN scoring PPR, it was like 34.6 points.
Yep, you're going to win if you have that one person getting 34 points. Like, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, because you probably have a bunch of other guys. I don't know who has Todd Gurley in this league, so I can't look. I also don't care.
I'll check it out.
I don't care who has him because it's not you, and I play you this week, so that's
not
all that matters.
me. But it's not Chad. I think Chad has nobody.
But Todd Gurley, man, that guy is rebounding from that supposed sophomore slump.
Right.
And, you got to give it up to these guys out there. Sean McVay has really ignited a team that the worst coach in the NFL, Jeff Fisher, just was – it was like a rock attached to a bag of cats thrown off a bridge in the middle of the night.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher. This team is looking really, really good, and it's really strange to me that Jeff Fisher, well, not really, because he's been in the league for 207 years, and hasn't done anything since 1999 when he took the Titans to the Super Bowl. He's one of those coaches, kind of like John Fox, who still is here somehow. He's a football coach still. But that team is super fun to watch. I kind of enjoy watching the Rams games now because their offense is crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and it makes sense because they have so many different. I mean, they've accumulated through various trades and such now too, other former first round picks.
Yeah.
And Goff leading that offense, Gurley, Sammy Watkins, Tavon, you have all these different number 1 picks out there, and they're finally have a coach who is understanding how to use all these different number 1 picks.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled that it's that. I'm disappointed that they have to be the team that has to play in the LA Coliseum or the Memorial Stadium or whatever it's called out there for the next 3 or 4 years until they get a real stadium. But holy shit, that team looks great. They look way better than the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh my good Lord. We could do a whole show just talking about that.
But to a degree, I feel bad that St. Louis lost this team before they had a chance to see them be good again. They had the Kurt Warner years.
Sure, they got a Super Bowl out of that.
Right.
2 appearances, 1 win.
But it would have been great that this team was still there because this was so much of this nucleus was there.
Yeah.
And they just had a fucking pedophilic dud of a coach.
Pedophilic?
Dude, you look at that guy and you're like, wow, that guy is going door to door.
He's small too. He's 4'2". He's real short. That doesn't mean he doesn't know how to coach football. Him not being able to coach football means he doesn't know how to coach football.
Right.
But yeah, It's really strange. Like, I think the Eagles play them in December, and it's like that's on the schedule. You look at it, and you're like, oh, the Eagles are playing them. Like, that might be a win. It's in LA though, so that sucks. And now it's like, well, they're probably gonna fucking lose that game. Like, that's a tough game.
It's that kind of game, and it could be a very important game for both teams.
Yeah.
Which going into the year, nobody was looking at that saying, "Oh, the implications of this one are huge."
No one was thinking that.
But that's what happens when you're the Monster Ultra Monster Game of the Week, sponsored by Monster Ultra, 0 sugar, 0 calories, ultra flavor. Todd Gurley, the LA Rams. Congratulations. 2-time winner.
Who was the other 2-time winner?
Kareem Hunt.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So we've got some running backs blowing it up this year. Tom Brady was the only other winner so far this season.
Yeah.
I guess I should really start writing down how many times each guy's won it. We're so early in the season, it's easy for me to remember.
Yeah, it's going to get harder to know that stuff.
We're going to have to put these notes at the bottom of our production
little pad here.
Yeah. And, of course, with every Monster Game of the Week comes the Boner Roster Move of the Week, sponsored by Fleshlight. Why put a boner in your roster when you can put a boner in a Fleshlight?
We need to work on that one.
I know. It's real. I'm really forcing them.
That one's great. It's just I don't think it's going to get past the censors on YouTube. On fucking YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Neither are 85 viewers.
Yeah, 85. That's amazing.
Hey, man, 3 cents. I'll take it. No, we don't even have money yet. I'm kidding.
No, we don't have AdSense set up.
We don't have AdSense set up anything. But this week's Boner Roster Move of the Week, sponsored by Fleshlight. Your friend and mine, the great white hope, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
6 carries for 16 yards, 4 receptions for 33 yards.
Oy.
Pretty much the only Carolina Panther that didn't get more than 50 yards. And especially poor considering the previous week, 4 carries for 16 yards, but 9 receptions for 101 yards.
He's like a wide receiver.
I feel like I myself, who have him in our league that we are in together with the other internet studs.
Yeah.
Studs.
Studs.
I feel like I bit a little bit too much of the Mel Kiper hype.
Yeah. People loved him.
And, this dual threat, this receiving threat.
Like Sproles.
Isn't coming to fruition the way a first round pick traditionally should.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that could just be because of Carolina. It could be Carolina's real fluky right now. But, I mean, 9 receptions for 101 yards is like, for a running back, that's pretty incredible. But, are they going to – that's the thing. Like, you can't just use that guy like that all the time. Teams aren't going to allow him to just be, like, catching 9 receptions for 100 yards. Like, every week that won't happen. So –
No, that's 100% fair too. I bid on him a little bit, and I'm sure a lot of people put him in their rosters last week following that performance because of the lack of Greg Olsen.
Right.
So you can move McCaffrey, into the slot. You can move him into the 4th wide receiver position and still keep Jonathan Stewart or Fozzie Whitaker, that son of a bitch, who got that ridiculous touchdown. You can move those other guys around, and I figured McCaffrey was going to overmatch on a linebacker, outmatch a corner just because of his shiftiness.
He's fast.
And I paid for it. I paid for my what's the word for me being greedy?
Hubris.
Hubris, yes.
Your hubris.
You were my hubris.
You were your eyes were too wide shut. Wait, eyes wide shut.
My eyes were wide shut. So there you have it, folks. The Monster Game of the Week, sponsored by Monster Ultra, and the Boner Russell Move, sponsored by Fleshlight. We pick these every week, but we're going to be moving into a more live format in the future, and we're going to be looking at ways to get more of you involved during the week. During Sunday football, during Monday Night Football. So be on the lookout because we're going to start giving some Twitter polls and that you guys can help us pick who's going to get the monster game of the week and who's going to be the boner roster move of the week. We're a quarter way through the season, and we just want to get some more of your guys' input on your seasons, on how you're seeing the season going. And of course, as always, in addition to asking us questions, which we're about to get to, you can always email us or tweet at us some of your stories about how your season is going now that we're 4 weeks in. Like we said when we first started the show, people always say they don't care about your fantasy team, but we do.
Yeah.
And I want to hear how your season is going. Yeah, I mean, Josh wants to hear it. I want to hear it. We want to be able to shout the virtues of how great of a season you're having, or be there right there with you, shoulder to shoulder, embracing over how bad things are.
We all need that. When you have a bad fantasy year, you need somebody to commiserate. You don't need people telling you, like, oh, nobody cares about your fantasy team. Like, of course they do. They play fantasy too. They care. And we care.
But we want you to know for definitely that we're the only podcast that cares.
For reals.
For real. Every other they're inundated with so many messages they can't possibly get back to you.
Yeah.
But we can.
We got lots of free time.
We do. And that brings us to this week's listener questions. We don't have a sponsor for listener questions yet, but we're working on it.
Probably like a hearing aid company or something.
Listener questions, the hearing aid company.
Miracle Ears listener questions.
Oh, the Miracle. I'm a big fan of the alliteration ones.
Okay, yeah, that's
Lysol listener question.
Lysol.
Hey, Lysol listener.
All right. It's kind of a rhyme.
Let's see what else we got. We got
just look around the room.
Yeah, the leaf blower listener questions of the week.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Strike listener questions of the week.
Lucky Strike. Oh my God. Woo! Smoke up, Cutler.
Smoking Jay Cutler. All right, so here we are, listener questions. Our first question comes to us from Brunale7.
Brunale.
Welcome back, Brunale. What's the deal with Willie Snead?
Hey, great question. Yeah, Willie Snead is sort of like Jordan Matthews, but he scores half the touchdowns, right?
No, I wouldn't put him on the. Jordan Matthews is a clear like possession guy. Willie Snead is still like a fast guy. Yeah.
But stat wise for fantasy, like he gets like what, like he hasn't had 1,000-yard season. This is his third season, I think, right?
Okay. Yep.
And he gets half the touchdowns. Like I think his first year he got 3, and last year he got 4. I don't know. You think you'd have Drew Brees, right? You'd be probably just out of sheer like dumb luck. You'd score at least like 5 or 6, be breaking maybe 1,000 yards a year. That guy throws for like 52,000 yards a season. So like, why aren't you getting in on that? Well, I don't know.
Just remember how hard it is to get 2 1,000-yard receivers on a team.
It is difficult. Yes.
That's really hard. But last year he had 895, which is just under 900.
Yeah.
72 receptions and 4 touchdowns. So that's 1 touchdown every 4 games, which isn't amazing.
It's not terrible.
But 72 catches is pretty good. That's about 6 catches. No, I'm sorry, not 6 catches a month. That's like what, 5, 6 catches a month?
Yeah, it's like a weird number.
Yeah. And 895 yards, which is kind of that in between where he's a wide receiver 3 with the upside that he could be like the breakout star of the week, where he might earn that monster game of the week sponsored by Monster Ultra. But those weeks are like very sporadic. Like maybe once a year he's going to get that 200-yard game, right?
Right. He's a gamble. He's a super gamble.
He is a gamble. He started on a 3-week suspension. He was a hamstring injury last week. They're on a bye this week. Would I cut him loose this early? I mean, he's not even technically one game back from his suspension yet. So if you bought in on Willie Snead, there's no reason to not stay with him for at least one actual game where he plays.
Right. See him play. Yeah. The good thing about wide receivers, though, and I think in our league, and I'm going to assume in most leagues, is unlike running backs, like you could probably drop like a Willie Snead, and he probably will be there. Like Willie Snead will probably come back on, like, if you drop him in your roster, like you could probably get him back if you really wanted him. Unless he has like that breakout week, in which case like someone might snag him. But he's not the prettiest bell at the ball, right? Like people aren't clamoring for the Willie Snead.
Yeah, I think like as we said with Gillislee, like if you cut Gillislee, someone's going to snipe him.
Right.
If you cut Snead, somebody might snipe him, but they're also probably going to drop him in another 2 weeks.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah.
They have just as little patience as you do with him.
Right.
But like I said, if you already have him on your roster, you stick with him for a game, see what he does when he's back.
Mm-hmm.
And go from there. You give the guy a chance to show you he can get you some fantasy points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. It's all chance, right? And like you said, like if you have him, keep him. I didn't know that he was suspended. What did he get suspended for? Marijuana?
I think it was performance enhancing nonsense. Yeah.
He took like a vitamin and had like iron in it, and he got suspended.
Definitely.
Oh man. Oh, here we go. I love this next question.
Oh yeah, this is one of 76 questions about T.Y. Hilton we got again this week.
T.Y. fucking Hilton.
I love you guys to death that have come after us on Twitter with some great questions and follow us and watch the show. But Jesus Christ, guys.
This T.Y. Hilton thing is getting out of hand.
How do so many people rely on the production of T.Y. Hilton?
It's not good. You're not in a good spot.
Particularly if you're looking for us to answer this question for you.
Yes,
this comes from @KJ_sandwich15, who again, I need you to explain this name to me, bro.
How many sandwiches?
Is it smart to play either Nelson Aguilar or T.Y. Hilton this week?
This week? I have Aguilar in my other league, and I played him the Giants game. And did he score that game? He scored a touchdown in one of the games. Maybe it was the Chiefs game. I don't remember. And it wasn't the dumbest move I ever made in my life. He got me like 10 or 11 points, which was like he was my like flex or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I was like, okay, that move was like me getting really lucky with Aguilar. Like I would probably not keep Aguilar. T.Y. Hilton, like nobody's gonna throw it to him. Like Brissett isn't Andrew Luck, like you said last week. Like Andrew Luck is like where the T.Y. Hilton production kind of comes from. And until Brissett like maybe, has a couple games under his belt, or maybe next season if he goes somewhere else or whatever and plays, like I don't think you're gonna see Hilton get a lot of scores either. I don't know. It depends on who you got, though, right? Like, who knows?
Yeah, to me, Aguilar is much more reliant on whether or not Wentz throws a touchdown to him.
A touchdown, right? He needs to score a touchdown.
He needs to score because, for the season, Hilton, 27 targets, 17 receptions. Aguilar, 18 targets, 12 receptions. Right. Aguilar, that is the fourth most targeted player on the Eagles behind Jeffrey, Ertz,
and Smith,
and Torrey Smith.
Yeah.
And if I factored in all the running back targets, he might be fifth.
Yeah.
Okay. 27 targets. Hilton is leading in targets, and Brissett has thrown to him more than Scott Tolzien has. But Hilton is that kind of guy that Andrew Luck is practicing again. He's not playing this week
again.
He's probably not playing next week.
Yeah.
But within the next 3 to 4 weeks, you could see Andrew Luck come back, and that's the time you want to start looking at T.Y. Hilton again.
Yeah.
Not that he's not going to be poised for another game where he's going to get, last week he had a bad matchup against Seattle. But there are some promising matchups coming up over the next 10 weeks for T.Y. Hilton, with the exception of the Jaguars game.
Right.
So I think obviously like Hilton over Aguilar, to me, you're starting Hilton. Aguilar is not a starter.
Right. Aguilar, when I'm trying to remember like my thought process when I like grabbed him, I kind of was desperate. I kind of thought that I was rolling the dice like hard. I was rolling the hard dice, like, and I got really lucky when I started him because he scored and gave me enough points. I didn't win that week, but he gave me enough points where I was like not like upset about my move that I made. But yeah, Hilton, like you said, Hilton's going to be much more reliable. He's like the number one receiver they have. So, I mean, that's automatically better than Aguilar, who's, I don't know, maybe the third receiver. Like, maybe, like you said, like the number is like fourth, but like I would even put like like you said, screen passes to running backs above him, like production wise for the Eagles. So, yeah. I don't know.
No, for sure. So hopefully that answers your question. I would like to ask that for 1 week, no one ask us any more questions about T.Y.
Don't say that. You can't say that. They'll just ask all the questions about him. They're going to be like, T.Y. Hilton or T.Y. Hilton.
It's fine. We'll answer your questions about T.Y. Hilton all season long until we don't. And then you can send them to me all day, and I just won't put them on the show.
I hope that he wins Monster Ultra Player of the Week so we could like lose our fucking minds about T.Y. Hilton scoring like 3 fucking touchdowns and getting like 150 yards.
I would enjoy that.
We could have a party. We'll have a party.
We'll have a T.Y. Hilton Philadelphia downtown party at the Philadelphia Hilton. I think we have one.
Philadelphia T.Y. Hilton.
All right, moving right along. Bosby _.
Okay.
Mark Ingram, is it worth holding on to him through the bye week, or should I drop him for Smallwood?
Well, Smallwood hurt his knee in practice today.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's going to play. I would assume he is. But you said you hit on this before. Mark Ingram. Did you say that, or is this somebody else? Mark Ingram's getting like phased out a little bit. Alvin Kamara is like looking like the guy. Right. Adrian Peterson's in a tomb somewhere, being a mummy, old mummy. So I don't know. I don't know.
Smallwood is going to be the percentage guy of snaps for the Eagles. He'll be on the field more on third down. He'll be on the field more for touches. But Blunt is still technically our number one guy. He's going to get the most carries per game.
Whether he busts out 65-yard runs every week, who knows?
Sure. And the same goes for Smallwood, where he could have a game where he makes the most of his 15 carries. They have a real I keep hearing people in Philadelphia talk radio talk about a pitch count on the running backs, where Blunt's going to get 16, Smallwood's going to get 10. Shit, I forgot the third guy's name.
Corey Clement.
Corey Clement is going to get 8 to 10. And, but Smallwood's going to be out there for receptions. Clement's going to be out there for receptions. It's a little bit weird to try and figure it out, but I think Smallwood has some good upside now, and which is why previously when Sproles went down, we told you that he was a great waiver wire pickup.
You're listening to us.
But while Mark Ingram isn't quite getting as many receptions, he's still leading the team in carries, leading the team in rushing yards. He's just behind my boy Chimera in receptions. Kamara's been targeted 28 times and he's got 20 catches. Ingram's been targeted 22 times and he's got 15 receptions for 125. Kamara's got 147 yards receiving. Kamara's going to keep getting those, just like when Sproles was there and they had that dual-headed attack with Ingram where, he's on the field more to kind of mix it up so you don't know it's going to be a passing play every down.
Right. Yeah. You're not going to be able to tell just by looking who's back there. Like, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird situation in New Orleans. Like, who knows? Like they I don't know. And like the same with the Eagles though too. Like Smallwood looks like a good runner. Like he looks like he runs well when he does run well. And he scored last week on a 1 yard dive or whatever. And like if you're banking on that, like maybe they'll use him for that. But I would assume Blunt would be the back that the Eagles want to do that mostly with. But
and remember that the touchdown that Smallwood scored that was on third down after they tried twice with Blunt.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't punch it in.
Couldn't get it in.
So then, you bring Smallwood out, you spread everybody out. It looks like a pass. It's third down. Nobody expects, and they just ran it right up the middle.
Yeah.
Through the bye again, Smallwood did get tweaked a little bit this week. He's according to ESPN, he is questionable. That means he's probably a game time decision.
Yeah.
Is it worth dropping a guy just because he's on a bye week to pick up someone who may not play or who may aggravate an injury two carries into a game?
That's a definite no. Yeah.
That's a definite no. But I 100% agree with Josh there. Ingram is worth holding on to through the bye week for sure, especially because he's still going to be volume and he's still going to get some yards. But if you have another player on your team that's maybe hurt, maybe not performing, I'd still, if Smallwood is still available in your league, you should add him. Even if he's hurt and misses this week, he's still a featured part of the Philadelphia Eagles offense.
Yeah. Find someone else you don't love so much and get rid of them. That's my my litmus test for like who can I get rid of. And there's a couple players on your team where you're not stacked, right? And if you're stacked, you're not worried about this. So if you're not stacked, find another guy that you're not in love with and drop him to pick up Smallwood.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about these questions that we get from you guys every week too, and not that this is not a complaint about what you're doing, because I love getting these questions, but we don't know the full ins and outs of your league. I don't know how many people you have on your roster. Are you in a 12 or 14 man? Are you in a 10-man league?
Right. It's a big difference.
There's a big difference in who's going to be available, who's out there. Obviously, if you're in a 12 or 14 team league, like Smallwood's not out there, right? And you definitely shouldn't drop Ingram in a league where so many running backs are getting hurt.
It's crazy.
And it's a premium on a player like Ingram who still has that short yardage upside, that volume upside, and it's tough for us to come to these decisions. So these are like our best guesses based on our experiences,
right?
With our teams,
our teams in our league.
But at the end, what's best for your situation, and these are just us giving you some kind of educated information based on the stats we have for the season, based on our own leagues, and any more details you guys can give us. Are great, but don't by any means think that I'm upset that I don't know the ins and outs and the stat. Do you get 1?
Yeah, you don't have to get into like super detail. Yeah. Just like from our point of view, like based on our experiences, that is our best guess as to what's going on. How many people are in our league? 10 or 12?
We have a 10-man league.
10. We're in a 10-man league, and we oftentimes are like, it's like slim pickings, So if you're in like a 14-man league, like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Get less friends.
Where the hell do I view all the matchups for the week? No, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're in a 10-man league.
Yeah.
I had to think for a second.
I thought it was 12. I think my other league is 12. if I remember.
All right, so we actually have 2 questions from @YoJoshRob. And I forgot to include the second one because it was so good I couldn't stop laughing at it. But we're gonna go with the serious question first, and then I'm gonna hit you with the second one. The second
I can't
question,
see the second question.
I know you can't, so this is gonna be blind, and
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that whole one up to you.
Okay.
But this first question will both field. This week from @YoJoshRob. Should I start Matthew Stafford at home against Carolina or Ben Roethlisberger, who is playing somebody?
They are playing. Where's my schedule? Where did I put it?
I had it written down too for like.
Hold
this week I got it right here. Ready? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
Ben Roethlisberger is home against Jacksonville.
I think I know the answer to this.
Hit it.
I think you go Matthew Stafford. I have Roethlisberger in our league, and so far this year, Roethlisberger has been milquetoast at best, quarterback wise, fantasy wise. He's like Ben Roethlisberger, like season 1 Ben Roethlisberger, where like they're running the ball and then he'll throw maybe a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns. If you're super lucky, he'll throw for like 220 yards, that type of thing. So he's not putting up huge numbers, and he's playing Jacksonville. And you got Stafford, who is like gun-toting gunslinger boy, playing Carolina, who is like, who knows what's going on in Carolina. So I would go Stafford. I would roll the dice on Stafford.
I agree with Josh. Home, I think Stafford has a chance. I don't know that they win this game,
right?
But I think Stafford puts up better fantasy points than Ben Roethlisberger
almost always
this week, right? Yeah. Per Pro Football Focus, which is one of the go-tos for the fantasy stats and professional stats that we look up and almost everybody uses these days. Ben Roethlisberger hasn't thrown for more than 300 yards in his last 10 games dating back to last season.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Which is not terrible for NFL.
No, but for fantasy.
Bad for fantasy, terrible, right? Yeah. Like you need 300-yard games. Now, while Stafford this season, 887 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. That reads pretty good on paper through 4 games. He hasn't been tremendously lights out, but that's still good enough to be a top 20, top 17, top 15, depending on your scoring play. And that's startable.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you. If there's somebody on the waiver wire, Deshaun Watson, that you can pick up, I wouldn't balk at it.
Yeah, get him.
You know, if your choice is between Stafford and Roethlisberger, I don't necessarily think you need to cut both of those guys, but I think it's a safe bet to cut Ben Roethlisberger as a legit fantasy quarterback at this point in his career.
Yeah, it might be that he's old. It might be he's almost done. I mean, there was, to get into like the psychological part of football and fantasy football, like there was rumors like he didn't want to come back like last year, right? Like he was being all kinds of flaky about coming to practice and stuff. Like he might not just be in it anymore. Who knows? Or maybe he just doesn't have it in him. I don't know. He's looking real bad though.
He has as one of the most sacked quarterbacks, one of the more mobile quarterbacks. He's been a guy that will take the hit in order to get the throw. He'll buy some more time. But he'll almost always engage in contact. And while that has always been great to watch, it has really, I think, had an impact on the longevity of his legs at this point in his career, which is great for players like Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, who can catch those intermediate passes and give him yardage on long runs, and that he has a real dual threat at running back to give him a little bit more longevity in his career. But yeah, I think Roethlisberger might still be a good NFL quarterback not necessarily the guy you want to attach your team hopes to in fantasy football.
Yeah, he'll win. He'll win game. I mean, they're 3-1, so he'll win games in the NFL. But points wise, he's frustrating to own. Trust me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, now here is the question of the week for Josh from @YoJoshRob.
Oh my God.
Do you think Jay Cutler would have ran a little harder on that Wildcat if Coach said there was a fresh pack of smokes in it for him?
Do I think he would have ran a little bit harder? I mean, oh my God. So that play, like I was reading today that he was told to not do anything, to not get touched, to not get hit. Does that mean stand there and look like a dingus? I don't know. Like, he could have just stood there and like pretended like he was gonna run some kind of route. I don't think he would have ran hard for cigarettes, because cigarettes hurt your lungs.
But he is smoking Jay Cutler.
He might have really wanted them. Maybe if it was lit already, like maybe if like somebody like lit it for him, like 1940s gentleman style, and they were like, "Come get it, Joe, Big Joe." Maybe he would have tried a little harder. What a complete shit show that guy is, though. Oh my God.
Oh man, remember when I accidentally started him at quarterback one game?
I don't even know like what the fuck is going on with the Dolphins right now. Like, they're so bad. Like, they're like maybe the worst team in football besides the Browns, who are terrible. But I don't know. Their quarterback doesn't stand around on a wildcat play, which also is a stupid. Like, what are you doing running wildcat plays? Like, you're down like 20-0, dude.
Everybody's running those now. You see, I mean, Kansas City has like 20 wildcat plays that they run.
Yeah,
now.
They also have like 20 running backs that can run the football and shit. I don't know, man. Get fucking real, Jay Cutler. Get fucking real. For who? For what?
There you go. There it is.
For who? For what? That's what that was.
All right, here we got one that's a real good one from Mad the Swine on Twitter. I apologize for that. That was some Monster Ultra burp right there.
It's all right. You had some Jack Daniels tonight.
I don't have a question. I just want to beat my dad.
I saw that tweet. Well, I hope you beat your dad.
I hope you beat your dad too. I wish you had a question so we could help you beat your dad.
Yeah. I think you should beat your dad, because dads deserve it. There comes a time in a dad's life when they need to get beaten fantasy football by their kid. Needs to happen. You need to do it.
Good.
I agree with Luke. I wish we could help you do it. Put in all the good players. How about that?
There you go. That's our advice for this week.
Don't put the bad ones in.
Play the best players.
Play the ones who are going to get the most points. Do that.
If you can believe it, I've got another hot T.Y. Hilton question. This one came in after I did the production notes and was roaming around the city today. This comes from @HeckYouPaul, frequent fantasy football podcast questionizer. Is T.Y. Hilton the safe flex play this week? Is Amir Abdullah a better choice?
Okay, that's okay. I have Amir Abdullah as my number 2 running back because I had Dalvin Cook as my 2, and he died. He fell off a cliff and died. So I have Amir Abdullah in as my 2. I'm not real psyched about that prospect. I've played him at flex though before, and he's been okay. Again, like T.Y. Hilton, like I don't know what the fuck T.Y. Hilton's gonna do, man. I just don't know what he's gonna do. I would put Hilton in over Abdullah, probably. That's where my team is at though, so not very good.
I would agree that this week, Amir Abdullah going up. I know they're home, but they're going against Carolina.
Yeah.
Abdullah has been surprisingly good and kind of living up to expectations that they had for him a few years ago before he got hurt a couple times.
Yeah. He's kind of hurt now. He's dinged up now.
He's a little dinged up, but I mean, he has gotten the lion's share of the work, even in the passing game where a lot of people thought Theo Riddick was still going to be a major threat. I believe Abdullah is, something like 80% of the plays now he's on the field, which is great if you have him and you're hoping for something. But as flex and at this week against Carolina, I want to say T.Y. Hilton is a safer flex play.
Yeah. Agreed.
I want to say it, so I guess we are.
There you go. Why not, right?
Yeah. All right, we got one coming in hot from @Banjo Story because I'm tired of talking about T.Y. Hilton. We're moving on.
Another T.Y. Hilton question, hopefully.
No, this is from @Banjo Story. Do you get upset when beloved players leave and do well or do better elsewhere?
It depends where they are. Right.
Okay. Like so when Reggie went to the Packers or Randall went to the Vikings, were you mad?
No. I wasn't mad about Reggie going to the Packers. I mean, that was that beginning of the NFL free agency, and it was crazy. Like, shit was crazy, right? Like, Montana on the Chiefs, and like all this crazy shit was going on. But I wasn't upset, and he won a Super Bowl, which like I wish he would have won with the Eagles, like he was supposed to, but he didn't. And Randall I love Randall Cunningham as a kid. I loved him. I've had like several Randall Cunningham jerseys. I named my hamster Randall Cunningham when I was like in 6th grade. Like, I loved Randall Cunningham. I loved him. He was so much fun. But when he did well with the Vikings, I was cool with that because those are both NFC teams. So like, it's a little like, why aren't the Eagles winning? You know what I mean? But like, they're not the Cowboys. They're not the Giants. They're not the Redskins. So that's all I really care about. And they're not now, I would say, like the Patriots. Like, that would piss me off a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I really wanted Randall to win that one year, and
when he ripped his knee apart like the first game.
Well, no, when he was with the Vikings, when he was with Randy Moss and Chris Carter,
yeah,
and
another Eagle.
Fucking Morton Anderson, dog.
I know. Vikings, dude.
The most accurate kicker, never missed anything. And then they're like, we're going to the play. Oh, fuck.
We're going to the Super. Oh. The Falcons won. Oh, of course they did.
And remember the Falcons that with the Dirty Bird?
The Dirty Bird. Ugh. The Dirty Bird. What the fuck? Yeah, I wanted Randall to win the Super Bowl that year. I mean, that was a crazy team. Like, Randall was like, oh, you want me to throw like an 80-yard bomb and you'll just catch it and score a touchdown like every other play? Okay, that sounds great. Let's just win games like that. What were they, like 14-2 or some shit like that? That's insane.
Yeah, it was impressive.
It might have been 15-1.
They were really great.
I'm looking it up. I think they were 15-1.
All right, you look that up. I'm moving on to the next great question.
They were 15-1.
They were 15-1. Thank you. 15-1. Market 8, dude. This comes from a fellow friend of ours, Mr. TJ Denzer, TJ Skeletons, @JohnnyChugs.
Yeah.
It's an injury-heavy season. Do you ever set up a safety net for your picks in case someone goes down? Yeah.
Think ahead? What the fuck is that?
I mean, that's one of the primary things you do during the season at your fantasy football draft is you look for the important handcuffs, right? Yeah. There are certain guys you just need to handcuff. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't injured this year, but during many of the drafts in August, we didn't know his playing status. Right. So you drafted Ezekiel Elliott and Darren McFadden just to be safe, because at the time you thought Darren McFadden was still going to be the guy. Turns out it's Alfred Morris this year for whatever reason. But it also doesn't matter because Ezekiel Elliott is playing every game.
Right.
So when you drafted a player like Devonta Freeman, most people also drafted Tevin Coleman behind him, because you just gotta be careful. Now, you don't do that for every player on your team. Because that's impossible, and because other players, other people in your league are also aware of who the handcuffs are.
Yeah, they're also trying to draft that,
and they're also trying to make sure they have that just trade bait potential for potential, halfway through the season for them to break out. I don't think anybody handcuffed anything to Dalvin Cook because
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew, but also, Latavius Murray was basically run out of Oakland.
Yeah.
Jerick McKinnon, again, has been a guy that hasn't done much in his career in filling in for Adrian Peterson. And there are certain players that you just like, you know what? I'll deal with it when it comes. But yeah, for sure. I mean, safety net for your key draft picks is important. Prior to last year, Le'Veon Bell, you always wanted to have D'Angelo Williams,
right?
Because you knew Le'Veon Bell was going to miss 2 or 3 weeks with something every year.
He loves the marijuana, I believe. That's his thing, right? He likes the marijuana. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
I'd get suspended for 2 games if I could take 2 weeks off, whatever. I don't care. I still get paid, right?
You do.
Okay.
And our last legitimate listener question this week comes from Jads of All Trades, at Jads of All Trades on Twitter.
Nice.
The Milwaukee Film Festival going on, so I've been busy, but the best football movie is my question this week. He says probably Necessary Roughness is the best football movie.
This is an easier baseball question for me.
Okay. That's an interesting way to take it.
The Natural is the best baseball movie ever made. Football movie, Longest Yard, you're going to get a lot of that. You're going to get
the original Longest Yard.
The original one, not the one with... But another good football movie by Adam Sandler, The Waterboy, is a great football movie.
I do love The Waterboy.
Everyone will say that is not a good football movie, but it is a great football movie.
The Waterboy is a great football movie, like Days of Thunder is a great NASCAR movie.
Yes.
And they are both terrible for their respective sports, but also incredibly fun to watch.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to blow your mind here with my pick.
Oh my God, what's it going to be?
The best football movie? Draft Day.
Draft Day is a great movie.
Draft Day, I can't believe I like that movie so much.
It's a great movie, right?
It's so good. I mean, it's completely improbable.
It's bananas.
But I mean, that's why it's a movie.
Yeah.
But it's such a fun football movie because it doesn't rely on any last-minute heroics.
Right.
It doesn't rely on any Al Pacino histrionics. It's just like a simple, fun football movie.
Yeah.
And it's rewatchable because all the performances in it are pretty darn good.
Pretty decent. Yeah, no, that's a great... I was surprised I liked that movie as much as I did. It's a great movie about an underdog, the Browns, It's like a real movie. It's like realistic. Right. So, yeah, no, that's a great movie. I don't know. What are some other ones? What's the ones where is it Unnecessary Roughness? Is that when they lay in the street?
No, that's the Program.
The Program. And then there's Varsity Blues, which is when they make the bikinis out of the whipped cream.
Yes, Varsity Blues.
Remember Varsity Blues?
God, Varsity Blues.
Was it like 1997 or some shit like that?
God, James Vanderbeek just really wanted to get out of Dawson's Creek
He was done.
Bad.
I'll do anything. I'm a Southern guy now. It's his like terrible Southern accent.
John Voight just like such a bad Billy Bob and his 25 concussions.
Oh, we're forgetting another great movie.
Scott Conn, and they go to the landing strip where the teacher is a stripper.
She's a stripper. Of course. It happens all the time. Remember the Titans might be the best football movie. That is a great football
Remember the Titans is legit. Like legit good. Denzel's great.
Yes, it's a great movie.
Hayden Panettiere is tremendous in it.
She's the little girl, right?
Yep.
She knows all the plays.
Harvey Dent is really good. Aaron
Dent.
Aaron Eckert is good. I don't know the names of the actors aside from Ryan Gosling, who's in that movie.
I don't know the players.
But Sunshine is great, and that's what they call him on the team, right? Sunshine, the California quarterback with long hair.
That's right. He's like the surfer guy, yeah.
And the one guy that's not, I think, looks like Iceman from the X-Men movies, but isn't Iceman in the X-Men movies.
Yes.
He's like hates black people.
He's the racist, and then he comes around.
And then he comes around, yeah. And then all the black players on the team are great, but I'd be hard pressed to tell you a single movie any of them has been in after that.
That racist guy, he's in a ton of stuff. He's like a character guy. He's in all kinds of shit.
He's like a modern day Donnie Wahlberg.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Which brings us to our final listener question of the week.
I thought that was the final one.
No, this is from @MLukeBrown.
Oh, right.
How badly will Josh lose this week to Luke?
Oh, it's going to be bad.
I'll tell you right now, Yahoo, which is where our league is, only has me as I would say, a 12% favorite over you.
Over the swing, yeah.
And I'm scheduled to score, we'll round it up to 128, and you're supposedly going to score 122.
Sure. No, 120. 120.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. It says 121.95. Did you change your roster?
Yeah, I switched it up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. You're probably going to beat me. You just have better players than I do. So
I vote on my team to win every week, and it doesn't happen. I'm 2-2. You're 2-2.
Right, you're the first 2-2 in third place, and I'm the last 2-2 in seventh place.
There's a lot of huge discrepancy there. I think let me look at the standings overall so we can see why this discrepancy is so bad. Which is, so we have 2 4-0 teams,
right?
And then the most of the league is 2-2. There are 2 teams that are 1-3, and then somebody is 0-4.
It's not me. That's all I care about.
And I'll tell you this: I'm 2-2, but I have teams have scored against me 503 points in this league.
Yeah, well,
which is the most scored against any team by 27 points.
You had Ian when he dropped like 160 on you.
Yeah, he fucking lit me up. Yeah, Brutal Moose destroyed me.
That's like, you can't. It's like bowling, right? Like, this is like, there's no defense in bowling. There's no defense in fucking fantasy football. Like, someone drops 160 on you, you're just like, well, man, there's always next week.
Yeah. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. But so you just hope to keep winning next week. And to be fair, I did have that monster week the first week where I had, Kareem Hunt drop like 46 points on the whole league. But, I'm interested to see, and we're definitely going to be saying some shit to each other this week on Twitter, which will be great.
Well, hopefully this Sunday I won't be hungover as fuck like I was this Sunday. I went to a beer fest on Saturday, and I don't think I'm going to go to any more beer fests. It was a bad day, man. It was rough. And so I'll be ready this week with some trash talking. Nice. But it's mostly going to be me trash talking myself, I think. Unless my team like really pulls it together somehow, but
all right, man. Good though. We'll get some good shit talk going, and hopefully some people will, partake and listen to us be idiots.
Pick your side, Team Josh or Team Luke.
On Twitter, use the hashtag Team Josh or the hashtag Team Winner for Team Luke.
I'm gonna tweet my hashtag out right now. Team Josh.
You do that. I'll tweet mine out too.
Luke sucks. Hashtag eat a fleshlight boner of the week. And then I'm gonna tweet out the fan at us, so you know. There you go.
I gotta think of something good.
You're on the spot, man. You gotta do it. It's trash talk season. Let's go.
Here we go. Ready? And then we gotta have There we go. Boom.
Where you at
nice.
here?
All right. So if you think I will beat Henderson in fantasy football this week, tag it #Team Luke, #George sucks.
George sucks.
#Monster is as monster does.
I'm gonna tweet that. I'll retweet that. I'll even favorite that. There we go.
Here we go. We're retweeting live on the show.
Yeah.
While you're just staring right at it. I'm going to tweet it from the fantasy accounts here. I'm going to fucking everybody's retweeting everything from everyone.
It's just
boom.
A tweet bonanza right now.
Oh my god, my fucking tweet deck is like
exploding. I know.
Luke Brown retweeted a tweet Luke Brown was mentioned in. Yeah, no shit, you idiot.
That's how it works.
God damn it, I did that wrong.
It's all right. You tweeted it from your own, and you wanted to tweet it from there. I know what you did.
You know what I did. There we go. All right. There it is. Hiya, Watha. Hiya, Watha. All right. So that was that. And that'll be good times. All right. We're running out of time. We're running out of show. We got a little bit of show left for you. Personal predictions. Last week, Josh picked Marcus Mariota, Kareem Hunt, Julio Jones, and Zach Ertz. Marcus Mariota, 96 yards passing, 2 interceptions, 39 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and then he died.
I fucking laughed so hard. So, like, this should just turn into, like, who is Josh going to pick, and then they're going to ruin their career for the rest of the year. That's what this segment should be.
Kareem Hunt, solid game, 101 rushing yards, 20 receiving on 4 catches. Julio Jones, 3 catches, 30 yards, and died. Zach Ertz, another solid Zach Ertz game. 5 receptions, 81 yards. I picked Drew Brees, LaShawn McCoy, Tyreek Hill, and Gronk. Drew Brees, 268 and 2 Ds. Not world-breaking, but certainly good. LaShawn McCoy, 76 rushing yards, 32 receiving yards. Kind of shit the bed.
Not great.
Not what I expected from a player of the week. Tyreek Hill, 5 receptions for 35 yards, which was basically
nothing.
Worthless. And Gronk, 4 for 80. An otherwise Gronky game. The only way it could have been better is if he had a touchdown.
Sure, yeah, it would have been good.
But, tight ends are what tight ends are.
So we went 2 for 4, both of us, pretty much.
Yeah. 2 for 4. I don't think anybody had a top 10 player this week, but we each had players that would have been worthwhile contributors.
Yes.
So who do you have for this week?
For my QB, I'm going out on a limb here. I say Aaron Rodgers destroys the Cowboys because fuck the Cowboys. Also, he's on your team, so I don't know how I feel about that, but I would be willing to look past you destroying me if Aaron Rodgers is player of the week if you defeat the Cowboys. Let me get my schedule up because I don't remember why I picked this next player. Where is he? Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I do now. Running back, DeMarco Murray. They're playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are really bad. And Mariota, I think, is hurt, so they're going to run a lot.
Okay.
If he plays, they're probably not going to. He's not going to be running around all crazy Mariota-like. So they're going to give it to Murray. Wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald is playing the Eagles this week. Larry Fitzgerald is like fucking kryptonite to the Eagles. So I hope I'm wrong, but I'm hedging my bets here that Fitzgerald scores at least 1 touchdown and goes for 100 yards against the Eagles. He always does. And tight end, Hunter Henry, I picked from the Chargers because also they're playing the Giants, and the Giants are probably a less bad team than the Chargers are. I think the Giants could easily be 2-2 at this point, right? But I think the Chargers are so mad about the Eagles beating them, they're going to take it out on the Giants, and Hunter Henry is going to score 1 touchdown at least. It is.
That would be remarkable because Hunter Henry has been so bad this year.
He got one last week.
He did, but I mean, he's very bad. But I like your
He is bad.
optimism. I like your style.
Very optimistic, if you know me. I'm super optimistic, not a realist at all.
All right, me. Here's where I'm heading. I'm heading down Jameis Winston Street.
Ooh, good.
Two straight 300-yard passing games, and they're at home against New England on Thursday.
Yeah.
We have always said don't pick Thursday guys, but New England's defense is trash on a short week. And I think Winston has a real good week this week.
I like that pick.
I try not to pick players that I have moral problems with.
Sure.
But I know other people out there may not have the same qualms I do.
Sure.
So I'm saying that is the guy to go with this week. I am saying Carlos Hyde, who I hope is going to be healthy.
Oh, man.
Is going to just go apeshit on the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts, yeah. They're also very bad.
All right, and I think San Francisco is hungry for somebody to score some points for them.
They're going to get a win at one of these weeks, and it might be against their Indianapolis Colts.
I dislike the next pick I'm going to make, but I went down this road once before, and it paid off, so I'm going down it again. I'm saying Dez Bryant has a monster game finally against Green Bay. Green Bay wide cornerbacks are not great.
Yeah.
And Dez Bryant is aching for a game where he could be Dez Bryant.
Yeah, I have him in my other league, so I don't want the Cowboys to win, but I wouldn't mind some Dez Bryant points.
And for tight end, I almost want to pick Charles Clay, but
I have him.
That 5 for 112 he had last week is a little too
too much, yeah.
So I'm going with Delaney Walker.
Okay.
Because I either believe whoever is going to play behind Marcus Mariota is going to need to check down or run it with DeMarco Murray. Mm-hmm. Or if Mariota does end up playing, the hamstring is going to limit him a little bit, and he's going to be looking for some checkdowns, and Delaney Walker is the guy.
That's a good pick. I like how we went out a little bit on our tight ends this week.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to get out of that comfort zone, Josh.
We're branching out.
We're experimenting a little bit. We're in week 5.
Yeah, we're at college and we're kissing other girls and boys.
No safe bets anymore, man. Anything goes. We saw last week. It's getting hairy.
It's getting real out there.
It's getting real.
Hey.
It's getting real. You know what else is real? The end of this show.
Oh!
Hey!
It's past midnight. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. I got home late and we had to record the show late, and both Josh and I are up way past our 30-year-olds' bedtimes.
Yeah, I need to wake up at 7:30. It's gonna suck.
Oof. Yeah, me too though, because I got to go back into the city tomorrow.
That's worse. Well, I have to go to the other city that we do things in.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry we don't have our music. I'm sorry we didn't have a soundboard.
That's okay.
But we might be back with those next week, maybe. And next week we're gonna be live.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous.
We're gonna be live. I mean, we already do this show basically live. We just post it after we record it immediately.
It edited, so.
But by us doing it live, that means we're gonna have some live fan interaction available.
Questions.
So we'll see how that goes.
It'll be great. It's going to be great. I know it will.
So we'll let you know when the show's about to start and when to check us out, and hopefully you guys can join us. It'll be at a normal, reasonable hour instead of midnight. So thank you for watching. Hopefully we helped and answered your questions. Thanks to our sponsors, Monster Ultra, Fleshlight, Wendy's, Lukoil. Lukoil,
Lysol.
Questions, Lysol. And thank you to Josh for being so accommodating and doing this podcast so late.
No, it's okay. I'm usually up this late anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, but you don't have to do real stuff. Now we're doing real stuff.
Yeah, usually I'm just watching Star Trek or some shit, but that's fine. Thank you for the fun. This is so much fun. I love this.
Yeah, this is a good show. I'm glad we do it.
Yeah, it's a great show.
And I can't wait to do it again after I beat you this week at fantasy football. #Team Luke. Podcast over. Josh gets to say nothing in response.